Good afternoon, Ricky Lloyd. My name is Mihiraa. Let's start the warm-up session. What do you find rewarding about being a nurse?
I truly love helping people, and the most rewarding thing for me as a nurse is seeing the joy of patients and their families. It is always a priceless feeling to see our patients recover to a normal life after going through a difficult time. Throughout my years as a nurse, I have seen many heartbreaking times as well, and being able to help those families cope with loss has been very difficult, but also rewarding.
How do you deal with someone who isn't satisfied with your patient care?
When faced with a dissatisfied patient, I assess the issue, determine if it's something within my control to correct, address their concerns, answer their questions, and collaborate with colleagues for alternative solutions if necessary. My goal is to accommodate the patient without compromising their care.
Tell me what you feel your greatest skill as a nurse is.
My greatest skill as a nurse is my communication ability. I'm very proud of my ability to listen to what a patient is telling me. Nothing frustrates them more than feeling as though they're not being heard, and actively listening can help make someone comfortable. In addition, I learned that addressing their concerns and communicating assuredly make them feel comfortable, which is important to receiving quality care.
What do you find is the hardest part about being a nurse?
I think the hardest thing I've had to deal with is feeling helpless. While it's my job to provide as much care and comfort as medically possible, there are times when I just can't do more. Seeing someone in pain or feeling miserable and knowing there's nothing you can do to help is the most difficult thing I deal with. I am a nurse because I genuinely care about people and want to help, and when I can't, that's hard.
How do you handle the stress of the job?
To handle the stress of the job, I prioritize self-care and seek support from colleagues and loved ones. I maintain a healthy work-life balance by scheduling regular breaks, engaging in activities I enjoy outside of work, and practicing stress relief techniques such as mindfulness or exercise. Additionally, I make sure to communicate openly with my colleagues about any challenges I'm facing and seek their advice and support when needed. Taking time to decompress and recharge allows me to approach my work with renewed energy and focus, ultimately ensuring that I can continue to provide the best possible care to my patients.
Your preparation time is over. You can now start your role play.
Good morning, I'm Ricky Lloyd, and I'll be your attending nurse here today. May I know your name, please?
Good morning, my name is Mihiraa.
Hi, Mihiraa. How may I help you today?
Nurse, I am here with some concerns regarding my father's changes. He has been exhibiting noticeable changes in his behavior and memory. He has become increasingly forgetful, often repeating the same stories or questions multiple times. Additionally, his mood has become more erratic, with frequent outbursts of anger or confusion.
I can sense there's a lot on your mind today, and I want you to know that you're in the right place to talk about your concerns. Mihiraa, could you please describe any other changes you've noticed in your father's daily routine or behavior?
He hasn't shown any other behavioral changes so far. I have come to know exactly what his condition is and get some medical recommendations before his stage advances.
I appreciate your timely act. Mihiraa, it's good to hear that your father hasn't shown any major behavioral changes yet. That's definitely something to be thankful for at this stage. I understand that you want to be fully prepared for what's ahead, and I'm here to help you understand your father's condition and guide you through the next steps. Well, Mihiraa, what your father is experiencing now could indeed be early signs of Alzheimer's disease. This is a condition that typically starts with memory loss, like the difficulties he's been having remembering small details. Over time, Alzheimer's affects more than just memory. It gradually impacts a person's ability to think clearly, make decisions, and complete familiar tasks. As the disease progresses, confusion and disorientation can become more frequent, and there might be challenges with things that were once second nature, like cooking, dressing, or even recognizing loved ones. I know this is hard to hear, and it's natural to feel worried about what lies ahead. It's important to know that Alzheimer's is a progressive disease, which means symptoms get worse over time, but the pace of that progression can vary greatly from person to person. What I want to reassure you about is that there are treatments available that can help manage these symptoms. While there is no cure for Alzheimer's at the moment, medications and therapies can slow down the progression and improve your father's quality of life. Our goal right now is to support both your father and you, ensuring that he remains as independent and comfortable as possible for as long as we can. Mihiraa, and we will work together to make sure your father gets the best care possible.
Thank you, that's really reassuring. So, what can I do for him? I feel so helpless sometimes, like there's nothing I can do to make things better.
I completely understand that feeling, Mihiraa. It's really important to take things one step at a time. For now, one of the most effective things you can do is to create routines. People with Alzheimer's tend to do better when their days are structured and predictable. Routines help reduce confusion and anxiety. You could also use memory aids, like placing labels around the house, setting reminders, or using visual prompts for tasks. This can help him remember simple things without feeling frustrated. Creating a safe environment is another key step. For example, you might want to think about installing safety locks, especially if wandering becomes an issue later on. It's also good to ensure that everyday items he needs, like his glasses or phone, are always kept in the same place. Mihiraa, how do you feel now after hearing the plans?
I feel like I'm not ready for this. It's all happening so fast, and I don't know how to handle everything by myself. What if something happens when I'm not around?
It's completely understandable to feel this way. Caring for someone with Alzheimer's is one of the hardest things anyone can do, Mihiraa. It's important to reach out for support, not just for your father's sake, but for your own as well. There are support groups specifically for families going through this, where you can connect with others who understand exactly what you're facing. You might also want to involve other family members in the caregiving, if possible. And if you ever need a break, respite care is an option where trained professionals can take over for a bit, giving you time to recharge. Please remember to take care of yourself too, Mihiraa. It's easy to get so caught up in looking after your father that you forget your own needs. You need to stay strong, both physically and emotionally, for the long road ahead. If you're feeling overwhelmed, talking to a counselor or joining a caregiver support group can make a world of difference. They can provide emotional support and practical advice for balancing your responsibilities. I know this can feel like a lot to keep track of, but you're not alone.
Thank you, Ricky. This has been really helpful. I feel a little less alone now.
I'm so glad to hear that. Mihiraa, being proactive in managing his condition is going to be so important moving forward. With Alzheimer's, it's essential to keep an eye on any changes, even if they seem small. The disease progresses differently for each person, so staying alert to shifts in his memory, mood, or ability to carry out everyday tasks will help us understand how things are developing. Regular checkups with his doctor are going to play a key role in this. The doctor will be able to monitor how quickly the disease is progressing and adjust his treatment plan as needed. These visits also give us a chance to discuss any new symptoms or concerns that you might notice at home. It's important to catch changes early so we can manage them effectively. We'll work together to ensure that your father is as comfortable as possible. And are there any specific concerns or questions you have right now about your father's condition or the next steps in his care?
No, right now I'm okay.
Just remember, it's okay to ask for help whenever you need it. And if anything changes or you have more questions, don't hesitate to reach out. You're doing an incredible job, Mihiraa, and your father is lucky to have someone as caring as you by his side.